It's the DadPod, the DadPod,
The prenup.
the DadPod.
I thought it was an interesting topic. I seen a couple different ones. One was like Travis Hunter, right? That I don't know if you see much with that. His whole ordeal.
He got like a throuple going.
I don't know what's going on, but he's gonna make enough money. He should have got one. But anyway, the concept of the prenup. I seen another one too, where the girls, oh, well, if it's love, then you shouldn't have to sign that. But I also feel, in a lot of these situations, $500 million or $200 million. I mean, I don't know, like.
But at the end of the day, as much as marriage is supposed to be about love, at the end of the day, it is a binding legal contract.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I just even if you're like, oh, I don't want to sign it, I think it's a good idea to at least go through the exercise.
Yeah, I feel like if I was super rich like that, I would start that conversation early, so it wouldn't be some shocker last minute type of thing, And then even I also feel like in a sense that the other significant other would understand that. You know what I mean? Like why would I want to take what you earned, what you did?
Absolutely, we should both be coming with what we brought to the table, and we should leave with what we brought to the table.
When I really liked too, kind of around the scenario, but it was like the whole thing with Jeff Bezos or whatever, right? Where he got a divorce, and people were just ragging on his ex-wife and all this stuff, and she finally kind of come out and make a statement where she was just saying, everybody's talking about how much money I took, but nobody's seen all the nights that I stayed home while he was out there working, and nobody's seen all the things I did behind the scenes, all the hours I put in to help him build that dream. Why don't I get a cut? That's when it makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
With them.
Right. But yeah, 100%. like the Travis Hunter scenario, like that's his girlfriend he met in college. He plays college ball. You probably should go to me, oh, well, if it's love, I shouldn't have to sign it. I don't know. You've only known him a year and a half. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
You have a high chance of stealing his money.
100%. And why do you have an issue with at least us coming up with clear, defined terms?
Yeah,
What would be a deal breaker for you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I did a deal breaker, what do you think you should get?
Yeah.
It's listen, even if we don't go talk to a lawyer, you know what? Let's have an open, honest conversation about our relationship. Isn't that just going to make things that much better?
Yeah, you would assume so.
Obviously, it's easier said than done. It's going to be a fight, probably.
Always. But I do agree like that. I'd rather have that out in the open because. Excuse me. I was like same thing. I just watched a clip today. That's what made me think of it. It was like the whole family was rich. You know what I mean? So the son was going to inherit, and so the father is like, she's gonna sign this, or you will not be inheriting this money. Do you understand? Well, it shouldn't be that way, Dad. No, because I worked for this money, son.
Right.
I'm telling you, I've seen this before. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it was. There's
like
certain scenarios.
Wisdom.
It's happened. It happens.
Yeah, it does. You're in love now. What happens 10 years from now?
Yeah, straight up. And that's kind of where it brings me to the next point of building, right? Building with somebody is absolutely different. Same thing. I seen another funny clip. I thought it was so funny where, they're talking about, a lot of women nowadays are like, I ain't gonna mess with no broke ass fool, blah, 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 blah. But then in the same breath, they're kind of like, I need men need to respect me and be with me because I would build with him and I would help him. And it's like, well, hold on. Most of the time, building, you start broke. It's just kind of how it goes. Right. Like, if I'm already successful and I've already created whatever it may be, then you didn't help build shit, right?
Yeah, then what are we building together?
Yeah. Now, it's different. If you're successful, I'm successful, we meet at a point and we build it further. But you know what I mean? Right. I'm kind of saying in this conversation.
But even in that case, like, hey, we both brought what we brought to the table.
Yeah, like you said. Yeah, both.
And it's like a prenup only supposed to be about, like, listen, what do we get? Like, what happens if we don't end up working? Yeah. Like, what would make it worth it?
Yeah. And because again, right, the time you put in, you sacrificed or didn't do this or this because of this person.
Right, absolutely. And wouldn't that make you think about, like, damn, like, it would really have to be worth it? Like, what would really be worth it for me to leave? So you can be like, damn, like, you really have to think about it.
Like, what do you mean? Like, for the woman, like, money-wise?
Yeah, or like the man. Like, would I be willing to stay or, like, take the money? Like, at that point, like, now I got that choice.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And I mean, I feel like cheating would be the obvious, immediate. But it is. It's like it seems like most of those like that with the famous people. It's never cheating. It's something simple, petty, right? Just to
Yeah,
get that money.
but it also should be like, listen, I brought this. When if we don't end up together, like from this point forward, we're together. I get that
Yeah.
everything's ours, but what I brought, I should leave with.
Yes. That's why I feel like shit, you didn't. You know, if you didn't help build that, didn't help do that. That shouldn't
Yeah,
even. You know,
it's just
shouldn't
crazy.
count to that. And then because like the same, I've had some of the conversation with, I guess traditional housewives or stuff. People like my our parents' age or whatever, where some of the mothers, I guess, would say didn't go their route of what they want to do, whether it be college or medical field or whatever, because the father had such a great job and they didn't mind staying home and taking care of the kids, right? So it's like, okay, if this they put all their stuff on hold or whatever because
Absolutely.
that's another scenario. Okay, yeah, that's you do that to me. You spent the 20 years with me in assumption that this was forever. We were going to get this.
Right.
That's
That's
when
where
I
like alimony and stuff come in. I'm
yes,
like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, marital support or
absolutely.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's when I agree with that. 100%, 100%.
100%. But like, if you both had the option, and one person just said like, "This is what I want to do," and the other one said, "This is what I want to do," it ain't my fault I got successful.
Yeah, right. Huh. I mean, I guess it is your fault, right?
It's like
Yeah,
it's like you chose what you chose. I chose what I chose. Like
yeah.
that gets to be like an iffy scenario as to like, I mean, they're still there. They're still like part of the family dynamic. Like, should they be rewarded for that aspect? Like, should they have to be like maintained in that going forward?
Hmm. Yeah, honestly, that's not that. I would. I wouldn't care to be in that position. I guess. Like
Nah.
I already like I prefer to build and you accomplish that as you go. I guess if that makes sense.
Exactly. I just think a prenup could be one of those building blocks that you use. Like like you lay a strong foundation, good to go. It don't matter how great the house is. Foundation garbage. Low wind blows, that bitch
Yeah,
coming down.
and even like we can go away from necessarily for prenup, but with the conversations of stuff like that with money or being really wealthy, I've always said I'm confident I will be a millionaire. I will not die broke. I'm confident of it. I have multi millions. I feel like I'm gonna be able to change my family's lives, but and the same thing, I'm kind of like I don't want to give my kids shit. You better figure that shit out. Like I figured it out. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I would, like I would never help if it wasn't needed, but just because daddy a millionaire doesn't mean you a millionaire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's like that's where it gets to be like generational wealth. It's like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. So,
do
but
you want
yeah,
it to be? Do you want like
it's
the
hard.
Romeros to be raised up? Like,
Yeah,
because that's what I'm looking to do.
I see
It's
what you're
like
saying.
I'm trying to take where I was, and like my platform was here. There should be here.
Uh huh. I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, generational for sure.
That way they
Yeah,
can pass it on, even if it's just like, listen, like by example. It's like, listen, I ain't got crazy money. Like I put a little bit of money away for my kids so like they can like have a push once they graduate. But listen, I'm not paying for college.
yeah, yeah,
That's not happening. Listen, I didn't get college paid for. I figured it out.
yeah, yeah,
Like that sort of thing. I'm like, but like I also got no money for college, so it's like even though I'm only doing a little bit more, like it's still that little bit extra.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. I don't feel like I noticed a lot of those little kind of things that my parents did until I became a parent. Like what, damn, or like that. I got to learn that lesson, by default. And I'm not saying like we blame,
Right.
our parents' fault that they were broke either in a sense, but
Yeah,
kind of how
yeah.
we're talking to that, trying to change that mindset. Like, okay, well, we were here, we were stuck in this, and yeah, we're still trying to figure out how you said to move on from that and create that generational wealth. But with that, like, the lesson I said, like, I'm not giving my kids everything, but that
Right.
was a good idea. How you said like creating something to where all of the Romeros are such and such
Yeah.
created. That's I like that.
100%. And like, listen, like even like Warren Buffett, crazy billionaire, said like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
leaving my kids like 8%.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, he's a billionaire.
The
Yeah,
rest, the rest is going to like charity or whatever.
yeah.
But
That's
like
awesome.
even he's like, listen, that was money I earned. 1% of like, listen, I got $85 billion. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, That low percentage of that high
Yeah.
number, it would be
If
okay.
you can't take this 1% and grow that, then listen, I've given you every opportunity. That generational wealth will still be there, like in terms of like all the lessons they learned and stuff.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like it's not just about the money, right? It's about like the lessons and everything that you can pass on. Say like as like a total package, we're like moving in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's so much to learn, and like, cause even right, I mean, like we're learning ourselves as we go along. But it is stuff like that where I'm learning now about investments, or I'm still learning how to manage my money properly, right? Like even in a
100%.
in a small scenario, just um, my son was asking me the other day something. I can't what see how many times do you get paid in a month? And I said, well, I get paid once, but some people get paid once a week. They get paid twice a week, or you know what I mean. And he's like, oh, I feel
Yeah,
like every week would be good. So I start breaking it down and explaining how it sucked because right, I only get this much, and that's not even enough to pay my phone bill. So I have to wait until I get paid the next week
right.
to
It makes budgeting that much more important.
yeah. But yeah, I was those kind of things. Going through the different jobs I've had and getting paid at all the different scales. Like I prefer this once a month thing. It's so much easier to budget.
Yeah,
I can pay everything at once, and then I'm like, okay, this is how much I got. You know,
yeah.
but
I get paid semi-monthly, which means I get paid
twice a month.
every month. 15th, 31st, 15th,
Okay,
or the 30th. 15th last day.
gotcha.
So that's how that
Got it.
works for me. My kids don't ever ask nothing about like how I get paid or
I,
nothing.
I don't even know what brought it up. Honestly, I don't even remember. It was so random. He just brought it up, and I was like, but it could have been my daughter. I've been driving them both around so many places. I can't even keep up with who was where when we went to what store or whatever. But but yeah, I don't even know what it is. But anyway, yeah, those kind of things. Like that's again another point was like the building blocks. Like you said, creating these little building blocks to teach your kids, even though we're learning ourselves. One I always go back to real often is with like growing up. We all do it. Oh, I'll never do what my parents did. I'll never talk to my kids the way my dad did, the way my mom did to me. And a lot of times we end up doing it anyway. Like I
Yeah,
can't tell you how
100%.
many times I've heard my dad and me. But again, with those building blocks, right? Because I got my son asked the other day where damn school showed fucking football practice. I was so mad. He's like, "Oh well, it's because I fell asleep." I was like, "No, just say you were fucking lazy and you didn't want to take 12 steps to walk into your damn room to change your shirt. Be honest. That's not lying. Say you fell asleep because he had an hour before he went to practice. So let's
And
not do
even if
that
you did
bullshit."
fall asleep, it wasn't a priority.
Yeah,
Should have
yeah.
made it one.
And then but it was like those like little things, especially it's like he's getting older, like but those kind of things where I'm hearing my dad and me, but same thing. That's what taught me to stop being so damn lazy. Get up, put your shirt on, change the damn thing, or even like right again the building blocks, the importance of money. That shirt costs more than $1 shirt. That's
Right.
that's you know
100%. And it's like I like one thing that's like important is like I'll do stuff with the kids. Like I'm big into like cooking with them. It's like we
I
like
already started cooking.
I only get them every couple weeks, so
Yeah,
it's like a lot of the same stuff. But it's like, listen, you're gonna have this down pat, like, and then when you go, like, you can learn all a bunch of other stuff. But then, like, listen, in desperate times, you come right back to this. It's home base
yeah,
for you.
yeah. Definitely with food.
So you can like have that, just like simple basics. Like, listen, I'm not a handyman by any means. And a lot of times I do put shit together, I fuck it up and I have to take it apart and like have to like restart and do some shit.
Yeah, I ain't got
But
that
like
patience.
but I'll have both my kids there, like, listen, look at these directions. Here's a screwdriver. Oh, you've been doing that for a while.
Oh
Now
my
here
gosh.
now here's a drill. Which one you think is better? Like, listen, maybe down the road it's worth it to spend money on power tools.
Yeah,
Like,
that's when you start realizing you need fucking tools, right?
right,
I can't tell you how many times I would have had a job done in an hour if I had the right damn tools. And it's my fault. I'm like, oh, I can buy them, but I'm like, nah, that's just expensive. I don't really use it that much. And then when I need it,
I'm telling you, like when I got that drill, it was a present. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, you a drill? Like, what am I, Tim Allen? Is this home improvement? What the fuck am I doing with the drill?
Sim Allen.
But I'm telling you, like, it's been
Yeah.
13 years I had that drill. I don't know how many curtains, bookcases, bunk beds,
Shit, yeah.
picture frames. Like, And now I find a new little bit, like, I can use this on everything. I get excited.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I feel you. I was sitting there, I was telling my wife that too. I was like, as we get older, I was like, I'm gonna need a hobby, I'm gonna need something to do. And she's really into like all the decorations for the house, and I like, so as she gets into it, I start getting into it. But I'm like, some of these things would be awesome if I was like an engineer. Like,
Yeah, I want to do
obviously,
that.
obviously, I'm not going to be an engineer, but there's things like you said with little DIYs, I could figure this shit out. So I was like,
Oh yeah,
if I buy the right tools, like a saw, right, I can create wooden things and create little bases that we can reuse, or what I mean?
YouTube, like a
Yeah, straight
motherfucker.
up YouTube all day. But I was like,
I
yeah,
YouTube shit like, listen, goddamn car battery's dead. Like, I don't know. Let me be on YouTube with this motherfucker.
yeah, every time.
Like, I got a socket wrench, and like, bring your asses out here. That's how you change a battery. Now here's the bitch about
What happened?
having a dead battery. It's like, now I got an Uber for the car store.
Yeah, I know.
And
It's
now I
kind of
got,
close, like Blythe.
yeah, and now I got an Uber back. I ain't walking. It's like 2 miles. Batteries are heavy. I'm not doing
Yeah, they are. They are too. I
that.
always,
Yeah.
I always go to I don't know where you get yours. Obviously, right here in Blythe, we got the only spot with the auto zone, because most times that fucking battery will die before the warranty, and then you get a brand new one again.
Gotta love that.
I can't tell you how many times I got a brand new one. But man, I was gonna go back to when you were talking about bringing the kids out and you're fixing the battery and doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
It made me think there was this joke, and I had to send it to my dad, and it was just like, "You think you could hurt my feelings? I used to hold the flashlight for my dad."
Yeah.
Right. So it's like those, right? Again, back to the building blocks. My dad always took the frustration out on me and the flashlight. Like, what the fuck has
Yeah.
to do with you not being able to get the goddamn boat off?
100%.
Excuse my language. I should have said that. But yeah, what does that got to do with anything? Like, but like you said, that's how we're learning ourselves. Okay, look, I'm not. All right, you're not gonna hold the flashlight, but like you said, I'm gonna have you use a screwdriver, and you're gonna realize, should we use this or the fucking drill?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you move out, you ain't taking this drill with you.
Yeah, that's so funny. No, too,
Yeah.
see, that's like an unwritten rule I seen too, and I was laughing. I was telling my mom, especially when we first moved into that apartment when we were 17, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, it was like an unwritten rule, if my mom's got it, now I got it. Like, it was like, man, they used to come over to the house like, oh, we need that. I come back like in Thanksgiving or something. My mom was like, yeah, I used to have this really nice. Oh yeah, I took it last year.
That's fair.
I'm like, I swear I used to do it all the time. So in my head, I'm like, my kids will probably do the same thing.
Well, I'm behind it then.
Yeah. Well, the good shit, yeah.
Yeah.
But see, my mom was nice. I'll threaten my kids with violence.
Listen, you're not taking it.
Man. So you got any other random topic or something? I mean, these are just all of these are always just random. Those are just some off the top ones. Like I seen a couple clips.
No, I mean, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just like, yeah, with the buildings block. That was one I seen. I shared it on the DadPod page, but it just showed this dad, and he's telling his son has Down syndrome, and he's having him go in to go pay for himself. And I don't really know the whole how it is, but I'm assuming it's just harder to do the day to day stuff,
100%.
right? So he seemed nervous, and the dad's telling him, are you nervous? And the kid's like, no, da da da. And he's just telling you're gonna do it. It'll be fine. You just go in there and get blah blah. And it was just like such a wholesome, awesome reaction, right? And it was just dads like that, just speaking those words into them, because I'm terrible with names and people, but there was a famous it was like a track athlete, and he tore his hamstring in like the Olympics or something, tore his hamstring. And he's trying to finish the race. And he's not making it. His dad comes down from the stand and is holding him. And they're just kneeling. And just right when the dad comes, he just breaks down and crying. And it's a grown man. Like, he's in the Olympics. But when dad came,
to make me tear up.
Right, I know, right? And it was like, it was okay to cry. Dad's here, right? Dad got my
100%.
back, And it was just like those kind of things, those words, right? Like where I've had, like my son, same thing with football or sports or certain things where, again, as a man, it is okay to cry. It is okay to be emotional when you do put your everything into it, because quite often you put your everything into it and you're gonna fail. It happens over and over and over, and it was just like those, to being able to speak kind of those words of encouragement. Like in that scenario, it wasn't a fail or it was just a scary moment. But like those kind of
Yeah.
things. Have you ever had like one of those moments, with yours where you really just had to, it's okay, like to feel this,
I mean, I've tried it, especially with my son, because he's like somebody like he's always like trying to find a bright side.
That's awesome.
So like, but it was like, listen, ain't always a bright side.
Yeah, yeah,
Every now and then, like, so we were on the boardwalk, and I jumped on one of the benches and said, ah. I was like, just like, I don't see the bright side right now. I told my daughter, jump up, let it out. Tell me you don't see the bright side. My son, he refuses to do it.
yeah. That's all right though.
I was like, all right,
As we know, it gets harder the older you get to keep that
yeah,
same. We like that's why the other one I do that we do the painted smile, right? That's what we say. We tend to do that as men. I mean, at least it is good, but like you said, with that darkness, it made me think of another one I had shared with Bob Ross, right, the painter.
yeah, yeah.
So I shared it, and it was right after his wife, I guess, just died of cancer, and he's
Mm-hmm.
painting, and he says, he's like, yeah, we got to do the dark with the lights with the dark, all dark has to have lights, it has to match, and he says, with all dark there comes light, and I'm waiting on the light right now, and it was just like same thing. I loved how it was because again, like
That's
again.
fake.
Yeah, it was, man. It really was, but I was like, kind of. That's what I'm saying. Like, kind of like some of those building moments or stuff like that with my son, where like I said, I have had moments where I had to kind of breathe a little bit of life, or even humble myself, and I got mad and I shouldn't have been mad. It was my fault. I was
Right,
taking it out, and I've had that, that was me, son, and what I mean. Some of those had to, like I said, them building blocks.
right. But like that was never something like I got. Like my parents like never
Yeah,
came and said like, oh, like listen, I was taking something out on you.
yeah,
Like they never did that. So
yeah,
like now I'm showing my son it's like adult, child, whatever. Like you make a mistake, you come at somebody like, listen, it's okay to say you're sorry and
yeah.
to like recognize it, and you should.
Absolutely, and you should, yes, and you should.
Right,
Gonna be wrong again. Yep.
because if you don't feel that, then all you're ever gonna do is just do it again.
Mm-hmm.
That's why,
Absolutely.
like, it's easy to say sorry, like, but like, are you? Like,
Yeah, yeah. When I'm not, that's why I'll probably it'll be some days. I'm gonna have to think about it. I'm gonna see because I'm not gonna apologize if I'm not.
that's what it's like. Like, even at like at like I work in like accounting, like people say sorry like all the time, and like I had a coworker. I was just like, listen, stop. No, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, listen, like you like recognize you made a mistake. Yeah, 100%. Recognize you made a mistake.
Yeah,
I'm like, what's the apology for? Like, you're not sorry.
that was something my dad told me. I used to say that a lot. I guess when I was growing up, he used to tell me that a lot. What are you always fucking saying sorry for? What are you so fucking sorry for? All the fucking time, you so damn sorry. And I was just like, I didn't even notice I say that all the time. But it was like I was trying to keep it as manners, But
Right.
like you said, you're not. So don't say the word. What's the point?
Yeah, yeah. You're like giving up your space.
Mm-hmm.
Like to say you're sorry is like giving up your space. Like, why do that unless you actually mean it?
And it makes me think of another point, like where, like you were just saying, being at work, in a sense, where I was explaining to somebody, right? We got so many different spots in my work, but right, one of the areas, the bakery, right? If we both, let's say, with a both title, or whatever, you like your biscuits at fucking 350, I like them at 375, right? It's a preference thing, but people nowadays they don't know how to like have a disagreement and move on, right? Like they're fucking biscuits.
Right.
It's okay to not agree and still be and have a disagreement. We can have a disagreement right now. Like food 375 is clearly the crispier, fucking flakier biscuit.
Hey, let's split the difference at 360.
That's what I'm saying. We can do that, and the
Yeah.
next day, it's okay. We're okay to conversate still. People are too afraid to have any conflict or upset anybody. In
Right.
any way.
They're like afraid to engage in conflict and like stay with it and then like move on from it
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's like, oh, every confrontation is like a world ending thing.
yeah. That's what people act like, right? Straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was another fucking quote I seen. I loved it, and it was like, I wish everybody in the whole world could get punched in the face at least one time so they can see it's not the end of the world, right?
Yeah,
And that for that point of confrontation, right? It's not that big of a deal 99% of the time, right?
yeah, 100%.
But it is for those people that don't know how to suck their ego and pride up and apologize when they're wrong. It is actually, right? Probably very fucking
That is
difficult.
tough. Like, listen, and some people get wrapped up in themselves. Like, it's tough. Like, I go to therapy. So, like, even today, I was talking about therapy. Like, that last couple of weeks, I just felt like so self centered. Like, even like, it was just like me, 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 me. Like, how am I? And then, like, I had to take a step back. And I was like, you gotta get back to basics, man. You gotta get back to those building blocks. Like, what are your beliefs? Like, do you know? Maybe part of the reason you're so fucked up right now is because you haven't taken the time to define your beliefs in a while
That's solid. Yeah, that's solid.
and like work from there.
It reminds me, I had this song, uh, fuck, 2022, 23 maybe. But anyway, it was like that, like a rough spot, right? Like I was like questioning certain stuff myself, but the song's called Find Me, right? And I'm saying I gotta find me where like I'm losing certain parts or is this me or I couldn't figure out how to maneuver it, but well, like how you're saying, you're saying me, 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 but having to get back to the basics. Who am I? You know,
Right.
who am I? Really? And like, but I love this kind of conversation because it generally makes me think of, again, going back to how we're teaching our kids certain things. Like again, back to the basics of just simple lying or not lying. Lie to all those motherfuckers out there. Don't lie to me. Right?
Yeah.
I got you on everything more than everybody else. Don't lie to me. You know
Yeah,
what I
and I'm
mean?
doing that.
And my
And I
daughter's
like
16 and she doesn't listen.
100%.
But
That's
that's
gonna
that age.
happen.
That's that age.
Yeah. I feel like my son's testing those limits now.
He's
Like
starting
with
to
the
get there.
cell phone.
Yeah. They're a little further than we were with being able to conceal and hide shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But then like I take a step back and it's like, damn, am I get mad? Because to them it's like talking on the playground.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
I said a lot of wild shit on the playground.
yeah. My wife just brought one up like that too with the other day, and hands down, my son fucking. He took something that I told him because he was being lazy, and I'm like, all right, these motherfucking kids gonna be out there practicing the football while you sitting on your lazy ass playing Fortnite. I'm just telling you, right? And then he told his friend that shit. Like, that was his original thought. But no, he
Yeah.
says some stupid shit. More kind of, it's just normal. I'm not a boy, so. And I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. It seems odd, but like how we just said, that's playground talk. That's locker room talk.
Yeah.
Boys be talking shit, like real shit, wholeheartedly personal shit. Like,
You gotta let them do it.
yeah, that's until it's a problem, then it's a problem. But yeah, that's pretty much how it kind of
Nah,
goes.
some parents aren't with it. Like,
Yeah. And the kid my son was talking to, his parents are not, so that's kind of why it was.
so I had to be like, damn.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
that's
gonna
what
have to talk to somebody.
listen, I already told you, like, I don't care. But like if you're not being smart with it, that's when I gotta get involved.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
see, like, don't be saying like real wild shit. I find out you're racist or like
Yeah.
homophobic, some shit like that. I'm gonna fuck you up. But
Yeah.
like, as long as you're not being like hateful,
Yeah.
you can pretty much say whatever the fuck you want, and I'm gonna be like, I may not like it. I may even be like, ooh, I wouldn't have said that. But once you start doing dumb shit, like this kid's parents don't like this shit, and you've done it twice.
Yeah, you
It's
gotta
like,
back your ass up.
yeah,
But anyway, I gotta cut this short. My son is done with football practice.
all right,
I got the text right now. But again, with the Zoom thing, it says right now, running out of time. We was minutes there. We had 8 minutes left, so we're about 30 minutes in or so. That was probably perfect, quick one. But actually, tomorrow I probably got time again, probably earlier if you want to try to knock it out. Let me
yeah,
know.
100%.
All right, I'll hit you up. But this was going, man. Until tomorrow or the next one. Peace.
All right,
I don't never know how to shut this off every time I be like, peace.
all right.
All right, later.